Every year, tens of thousands of people clean their throttle body by themselves and end up damaging their own engine with their own hands. Just a few wrong sprays can cause the car to shake, the idle speed to fluctuate, and the check engine light to turn on, leaving them clueless about what just happened. You think you are helping your engine breathe easier, but in reality, you are choking it. Before you spray another drop of cleaner, watch this video, because if you do it wrong, even once, you could permanently damage the throttle body, the sensors, or even the ECU. In this video, I will show you the entire proper throttle body cleaning procedure, exactly how professional mechanics do it every day, so you will never make the mistake that causes engine shaking, stalling, or error codes again. I will point out the common mistakes that 90% of DIYers make, and the simple fix that almost no one knows. And at the end of this video, I will share a secret tip that keeps your throttle body clean for up to 20,000 miles without opening it again. If you truly love your car, watch this video until the end, because just understanding this once can save you thousands of dollars in future. Before talking about the cleaning process, you need to understand what the throttle body actually does. The throttle body is the breathing gate of the engine. Every time you press the gas pedal, the throttle plate opens, allowing air to enter the combustion chamber. When this air mixes with fuel, it creates the combustion mixture that powers the engine. In other words, the throttle body is the center of airflow control, directly affecting power, smoothness, and fuel efficiency. But after tens of thousands of miles, carbon buildup, oil residue, and dirt accumulate around the throttle plate. This buildup prevents the plate from opening and closing accurately. The result is unstable RPM, throttle lag, mild vibration, or even stalling when stopping. And this is exactly why throttle body cleaning must be done correctly, because even one small mistake can throw the entire air intake process out of balance. Many people think that just spraying a bit of cleaner into the throttle body is enough, but that is exactly the mistake that ends up costing them dearly. The first mistake is spraying cleaner while the throttle body is still mounted on the car. The cleaner gets blown backward into the intake manifold, damaging the oxygen sensor, the MAF sensor, and even causing hard starting or white smoke. The second mistake is not disconnecting the battery before working. When you wipe the throttle plate, the electronic motor still has power, and the ECU records an incorrect position, leading to trouble codes P505 or P2119, which cause the engine to shake and the idle speed to fluctuate. The third mistake is using the wrong cleaner. Many people spray WD-40 or carb cleaner because it is cheap, but these products destroy the internal non-stick Teflon coating inside the throttle body, making the plate stick or fail to close properly. And the final mistake is scrubbing aggressively with a screwdriver, wire brush, or dry cloth. Most people do not realize that the coating inside the throttle body is extremely thin, and even a small scratch is enough to disturb airflow and cause incorrect sensor reading. I have seen many cases where, after just one wrong cleaning, the car needed a complete throttle body replacement, costing more than $400. So, when do you actually need to clean your throttle body? Watch for these signs. When the car starts to shake slightly at idle, when stopping at a red light and the RPM drops sharply or the engine stalls, or when the check engine light comes on with codes such as P2119, P505, or P2101. If you shine a light into the throttle body and see black carbon or thick oil around the edge of the plate, that is the time to clean it. But if the inside still looks shiny and the plate moves smoothly, you do not need to clean it yet. A dirty throttle body will not kill the engine overnight, but if ignored for too long, it will cause the sensors and ECU to work incorrectly again and again, and that is what slowly kills it over time. Before starting the cleaning process, make sure you prepare the right tools and keep your car safe. You will need a set of 8 or 10 millimeter sockets to remove the air intake tube, a flathead or Phillips screwdriver, a soft brush, and a clean microfiber towel. A can of specialized cleaner such as CRC, throttle body, and air intake cleaner, Liqui Moly, or Goomout. Never use WD-40 or carb cleaner. Next, disconnect the negative terminal of the battery so that the ECU does not record incorrect data while you are cleaning. After that, remove the air intake hose from the throttle body, but do not spray yet. Cover the MAF sensor with a towel to prevent any cleaner from getting in. Once prepared, make sure you are working in a well-ventilated area, away from flames or electrical sources, because the cleaner is flammable. When everything is ready, now we can start cleaning. But if you do this step wrong, the consequences can still be serious. Now we start cleaning the proper way. First, gently open the throttle plate by hand if it is a mechanical type, or ask someone to hold the gas pedal halfway open if it is electronic. Never try to force it when it does not move, because you could damage the control motor. Next, spray the cleaner directly onto the microfiber towel instead of spraying it straight into the throttle body. Spraying directly can cause the cleaner to flow into sensors and cause shorts or error codes. Using the damp towel, gently wipe the inner and outer surfaces, especially the edge of the throttle plate where carbon builds up the most. You will see the towel turn black. That is the carbon and oil residue accumulated over the years. If buildup remains, apply a bit more cleaner to the soft brush and scrub gently in a circular motion until the surface becomes shiny again. Do not use any hard tools or screwdrivers, because even a small scratch can disturb airflow and cause the ECU to read incorrect signals. After wiping, use a clean dry towel to wipe once more. Then let the throttle body air dry naturally for about 10 to 15 minutes before reinstalling. Remember this, never flood the throttle body with cleaner. Just a few sprays are enough, because if too much cleaner enters the intake manifold, the car may be hard to start or produce white smoke afterward. Many people, after cleaning their throttle body, start the car and notice the RPM fluctuating, the idle jumping up and down, and even the whole cabin shaking. They think they did something wrong, but in fact, they just forgot one extremely important step: resetting the ECU. After cleaning, the airflow through the throttle body changes completely, but the ECU is still using the old data. It keeps adjusting based on the previous airflow, and that throws off the entire air-to-fuel ratio. The result: the engine shakes, idle speed rises, or error codes P507, P505, and P2119 appear. The fix is very simple. Disconnect the negative battery terminal for at least 10 minutes so the ECU can clear temporary data. Or, if you have a scan tool, select Idle Relearn or ETCS Relearn so the ECU can relearn the airflow. This is the step that 90% of people skip, and it is also the reason why they spend hundreds of dollars to fix an idle problem that they actually caused themselves. In many cases, your throttle body can be so dirty that wiping the outside is not enough. If you see thick carbon buildup that looks shiny, black like paint, or the throttle plate sticks and is hard to move, do not try to spray aggressively, because doing so will only push the residue deeper into the motor and sensors. At that point, the safest way is to remove the entire throttle body assembly from the vehicle. Gently unplug the electrical connector, then remove the 4 bolts that hold the throttle body to the intake manifold. When you take it off, you will see a rubber gasket between them. If it is dry, cracked, or hardened, replace it immediately. It only costs about $5 to $10, but prevents air leaks very effectively. Once removed, soak the metal part of the throttle body in a specialized cleaner for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then use a soft brush to clean every detail. Do not let the motor or sensors touch the liquid. Those are extremely sensitive areas. After cleaning, dry everything completely and check how smoothly the throttle plate moves. If it moves easily without sticking, you have done it correctly. Then reinstall it in the original order. Remember to tighten the bolts evenly. Do not over-tighten them, because the throttle body is made of aluminum alloy and can crack easily. After you have cleaned and reinstalled the throttle body, the job is not over yet, because now, the ECU needs to relearn how to control the idle speed. If you skip this step, the car may shake slightly, idle too high, or occasionally stall when the air conditioner is turned on. The idle relearn procedure is very simple. Just follow these 4 steps. Turn the key to the on position for about 10 seconds without starting the engine. Turn the key off and wait another 10 seconds. Start the engine and let it idle naturally for 10 minutes without touching the gas pedal and without turning on the air conditioner. Then turn the engine off and restart. At this point, the idle speed will stabilize. For some vehicles, such as this step is mandatory after every throttle body cleaning. If you skip it, the ECU will not understand the new airflow and may trigger codes P507 or P2000 101. It only takes a few minutes, but this step determines whether your car runs smoothly or keeps shaking for weeks. If you neglect throttle body cleaning for too long, carbon buildup becomes thick enough to prevent the plate from closing properly, causing rough, idle, and strong vibration. The ECU constantly compensates for airflow, making the car consume 10 to 20% more fuel, respond slower, and trigger. If ignored even longer, the throttle motor can seize, and the TPS sensor can fail. At that point, the only solution is to replace the entire throttle body assembly, costing $400 to $600. Just because of skipping a short cleaning session that takes only a few dozen minutes, you might lose hundreds of dollars for a completely avoidable problem. So how often should you clean your throttle body? For a normally driven car, do it every 30 to 40,000 miles, or once every 2 years. If you drive mostly in the city, with frequent start and stop cycles, or if your car has an automatic start-stop system, clean it earlier, around 15 to 20,000 miles. It is best to clean the throttle body at the same time you replace the air filter and clean the MAF sensor, because all three components directly affect the amount of intake air. By doing it regularly, you will notice smoother throttle response, stable idle, and improved fuel economy. Many people believe that cleaning the throttle body makes the car more powerful, but that is a misconception. In reality, cleaning only restores the original performance, making the idle smoother, throttle response faster, and fuel consumption lower. If you want to keep the throttle body clean for a long time, after cleaning, you can spray a thin layer of silicone around the throttle plate to prevent dust buildup. This coating helps reduce carbon accumulation for tens of thousands of miles. It is a small trick,